When you look around you, you notice that people today behave very differently than in the very recent past. It's almost as if there is some sort of societal psychosis that has occurred that caused such a radical change in people's behavior. This is not in your head. People indeed have changed, and generally, it's been for the worst, not the better. It seems like everywhere you look, there are people out there who are doing things that are more antisocial and impolite. And that's just the surface stuff. This general increase in incivility has been well documented now throughout the world, not just in the United States. Though maybe it's worse here because of the addition of radical ideologies like feminism, socialism, and far right extremism. It's been observed that people today have become less kind, less patient, and more impulsive than they used to be. It was uncommon to see anyone behaving like this, but now it seems like it's a common occurrence. Simple things like thank you, you're welcome, and bless you are heard less often. Instead, what you notice is that people are minding their own business too much, which might seem like it's a good thing, but really it's not. This is because the motivation behind it is different. While it's good and noble to generally mind your own business and not be so nosy, the motivation now is more out of utter indifference rather than a genuine giving of privacy out of respect. In fact, there is no respect being given these days to pretty much anyone, which is a contributing factor to the breaking down of civility in our society today. This is doubly true if you are a Christian. In a previous video, I talked about how secularism has negatively affected our society, especially in terms of social and psychological factors. So feel free to watch that video to get a clearer picture of what I think. But the reality is that in the Christian community, we are called to be the light of the world. And the light is supposed to make the area shine, not go further into darkness. This is what the increasing secularization and hyper individualism results in, people being more selfish. However, I do want to make one thing clear: society isn't doomed, and all hope isn't lost. When we relegate ourselves to this fatalistic mentality, we lose hope not just in society, but also in ourselves. You see, humans are social creatures. We value feedback and affirmation from others because it is one of the major ways we can ensure our survival and to pass on our genes. So, despite all the negative things we see in our society today, this doesn't mean that we should just throw our hands in the air and surrender. Instead, we need to become the kind of people we want to see. Then we extend that to have that influence over our families, then our neighbors, then our town, state, country, and the world. Change in this area isn't going to be easy, but it will be worth it. It will need to be incremental, not massive, in order for it to truly last. Most systemic or societal changes did not come through massive social upheaval. Instead, they were realized through the small actions of individuals who changed for the better, and then they themselves became the force that brought about positive change in their small spheres of influence. After that, the change kept spilling over towards other small spheres, and a tidal wave would grow and overtake the entire society, thus resulting in this change. So it always starts with the individual. But what so many people, especially inexperienced and naive young people, do is go immediately to revolutionary action. This is the strategy of the overly emotional and unintelligent. They're like people who use a hammer for every project instead of having multiple different tools in their tool belts. Since they aren't capable or willing, more so the former rather than the latter, to strategize, they rely on coercion and violence in order to achieve their goals. This is the strategy of thugs and gangsters. They don't know how to diplomatically and intelligently wade through the system in order to change it for the better. Their entire goal is destruction and chaos, because if that is all there is in society, then there are no laws and no rules. And this is where might becomes right. People like that cannot seriously expect any positive change to come about, despite all the huffing and puffing they do in order to convince people of their so called good deeds or intentions. Good intentions aren't enough. You need to have a plan and a goal in mind that you want to get to. And of course, as time passes by, you can modify certain elements. But if you have no goal and you only want destruction, then you are also part of the problem. So let's make sure we implement those things in order to get society to a better place rather than a worse one. It starts with your own attitude today. Are you someone who behaves like a jerk to your close friends and neighbors? Start being kinder and of assistance instead of being a burden. If you can't even do that, then you have no right in saying how society on a macro scale should be run. You need to run your own life correctly before you can even think about running society. And there are steps to climb before you get there. Having passion isn't enough. You need strategy and genuine care for the well being of others instead of just selfishness and arrogance, of which many people today suffer from. So that's it for this video. If you like this content, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, and share to get notified about more videos like this one. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.